The fall of the Zephyr, asterisk, asterisk. Kelder's eastern plains, 0900 hours. The twin suns scorched Kelder's cracked earth as Jake Mercer adjusted his respirator. Sweat pooled beneath his scavenged enviro suit, but he ignored it. His colony's survival depended on the glowing blue Solaris plant tucked in his satchel. One more specimen, and maybe its antifungal properties could finally... A thunderous crash split the air. Jake froze. The sound hadn't come from the storm-choked horizon. It came from the ravine below. He slid down the slope, grit stinging his palms. Smoke coiled through the air, asterisk metallic asterisk like burnt wiring. Through the haze, a hulking transport vessel lay crippled, its obsidian hull split open. And beside it, a creature. It was a towering equine shape but wrong. Alien. Silver fur shimmered across its muscular frame. One membranous wing mangled beneath it. The other flared weakly, translucent, veined with gold. A zephyr, Jake's mind supplied, recalling fragmented colonial briefings. The beast shuddered, obsidian eyes rolling as a figure in jagged armor yanked at its bridle. Asterisk Kethra Var. Asterisk the alien snarled, voice modulator cracking. The warrior, tall, with iridescent scales along their neck, raised a blade to the Zephyr's throat. Whoa. Asterisk stop? Asterisk. Jake lurched forward, gloved hands raised. The alien world, blade humming with plasma. Asterisk human. Asterisk the word dripped venom. Interfere, and I spill your organs. Jake forced his voice steady. I can help. He nodded at the Zephyr, its breaths wheezing. Its wing, it's in pain. Let me. The warrior hesitated. Their helmet retracted, revealing angular features and slitted amber eyes. Female, maybe, or Kaldarians didn't gender like humans. She hissed, your kind butchers zephyrs for sport. Liar. The Zephyr whimpered, blood foaming at its nostrils. Internal bleeding. Jake's sister's face flashed in his mind. Pale, coughing crimson as the plague ravaged her lungs. He'd failed Lila. He wouldn't fail this. I'm a botanist, he said, slowly unclipping his medkit. Not a hunter. Let me try. If I hurt it, kill me. The Kaldarian's grip tightened on the blade, then relented. One false move, she warned. Jake knelt, ignoring the stench of scorched flesh. The Zephyr's wing was a ruin. Compound fracture, tendons severed. But its eyes locked onto his, intelligent and terrified. Like a spooked horse, he thought. He gentled those back on Terra. Easy, big guy, he murmured, injecting a sedative. The Zephyr flinched, then stilled. Jake splinted the wing with carbon fiber rods from his pack, smearing the wound with Solaris paste. The gel hissed, sealing tissue. The Kaldarian stiffened. What is that? Antiseptic. Promotes healing. Jake didn't look up. Your warship have a name? A pause. The Los. And she is Vera. Vera, Jake repeated. The Zephyr's ear twitched. He pressed a hand to her neck, pulse thready but steadying. She'll live, but she can't fly for weeks. The Los crouched, scales flickering indigo. Doubt? Guilt? The Vorith ambushed us. I could not protect her. Jake almost laughed. Join the club. He nodded at his own scarred forearm, the mottled burn from a scavenger's plasma shot. This galaxy's hell on everyone. Vera snorted, nudging his shoulder. Her muzzle brushed his palm, warm, electric like static dancing on skin. The Los gasped. What? Jake frowned. She imprinted on you. Thalas's voice tightened. Zephyr's bond through touch. It is sacred. Before Jake could reply, Vera's good wing draped over him, shielding him from the wind. Her breath fogged his visor, and a strange warmth bloomed in his chest. Asterisk connection asterisk, sharp as a knife. The Los stood abruptly. We must reach the Tarn outpost before nightfall. Vorith track blood. Jake raised an eyebrow. You saved her life. The Kaldarian spat the words like an insult. By our laws, your blood is now hers. I cannot leave you to die. Jake smirked. Ah, you do care. Thalas's blade ignited. Walk ahead of me. Human. As they trekked into the shimmering wastes, Vera limped beside Jake, her head resting on his shoulder. The Los watched them, conflicted. Why? She finally demanded. Why risk your life for her? Jake glanced at the Solaris in his satchel. Let's call it paying a debt forward. Above them, storm clouds gathered. Somewhere in the dark, claws scraped stone. Whispers of the Vorith ***. Caldarian safe house, 1900 hours. The crystalline caves hummed with bioluminescent fungi, their azure glow reflecting off jagged walls. Jake leaned against a geode, watching the Los clean Vera's wound. The Zephyr's wing, though mending, twitched with residual pain. Vorith don't just hunt Zephyrs, the Los said abruptly, her scales flickering stormy violet. They harvest them. The antlers, she gestured to Vera's crown of spiraled horns, now dulled by stress. They channel energy. A single pair powers a Vorith warship for cycles. Jake's jaw tightened. So this is industrial. It's extinction. Thalos's blade scraped against a whetstone. Zephyrs migrate to recharge their antlers in Kelder storms. Without them, our atmosphere destabilizes. Your colonies will choke next. A cold silence settled. Jake's hand drifted to his satchel, where the Solaris plant pulsed faintly. Like Lila's lab, he thought. His sister's laughter echoed in his memory, bright, cut short by wet coughs. Flashback, Terra Colony 12, 2 years prior. Jake, look, Lila grinned, holding a petri dish. The Solaris extract glowed under her microscope. It's attacking the fungal spores. He'd smiled, ruffling her hair. Told you it'd work. 3 days later, the plague took her. Her last words, finish the research. Present. The Los studied him. Your grief is loud, human. Jake flinched. Your empathy needs work. He tossed her medkit. Here, sterilize that blade before you stab something. She scowled but doused the knife in antiseptic. Your methods are crude, says the gal, sharpening a sword in a cave. A snort, almost a laugh, escaped the Los. Teach me this stitching. They worked in uneasy silence, Jake demonstrating sutures on torn fabric while the Los drilled him on Vorith anatomy. Aim for the third ocular ridge, their weakest point. Vera nuzzled Jake's neck, her breath warm. Why does she favor you? The Los muttered. Maybe I'm better company. A tremor shook the cavern. Vera reared, screeching. The Los lunged for her blade. Vorith scout. The creature slithered through the entrance, a sinewy, insectoid horror, mandibles dripping acid. Jake froze, memories of Lila's corpse, pale, so pale paralyzing him. Human. The Los tackled him as acid splashed where he'd stood. Focus. Jake rolled, grabbing his satchel. The scout lunged at Vera, claws outstretched. No. He hurled a Solaris pod. It exploded in a cloud of blue spores, blinding the Vorith. The Los struck, her blade severing its thorax. The scout collapsed, twitching. Vera pressed against Jake, trembling. He stroked her muzzle, his own hands unsteady. You're okay. We're okay. The Los stared at the dead Vorith, then at Jake. You used your cure as a weapon. Had to improvise. His voice cracked. The spores, they're non-lethal. Just disorient. She sheathed her blade. A Caldarian would have used poison. Good thing I'm not Caldarian. Vera licked Jake's cheek, her antlers flickering, a soft, gold pulse. The Los stiffened. She thanks you. Yeah. Jake smiled wearily. Tell her she's welcome. The Caldarian hesitated. Vera's bond is a lifetime vow. She will die for you. Understand that. Jake met her gaze. I'd rather she lives for me. Another tremor. Distant shrieks echoed. More scouts, the Los said. We move at dawn. As she posted watch, Jake slumped against Vera. The Zephyr curled around him, wings shielding him from the cold. Her heartbeat steadied his. The Los watched them, her scales shifting to twilight blue. Contemplation, or perhaps respect. The storm of claws, ***. Vorith Hive, 300 hours. The Vorith Hive pulsed like a diseased heart, its walls slick with bioluminescent slime. Jake crouched behind a rib-like arch, grinding Solaris pods into a paste. This'll knock out their sentries, he whispered, handing the Los a toxin-drenched cloth. 30 seconds. Don't breathe it in. She scowled but tied the fabric over her scaled face. If this fails, human, I'll ensure your death is swifter than the Vorith's. Charming as ever. Jake lobbed the pouch into the corridor. It burst in a cloud of blue mist. Vorith guards staggered, clicking mandibles falling silent as they collapsed. They slipped past, Vera limping behind. Her antlers dimmed, the hive's oppressive energy stifling her. The core chamber. The air reeked of ozone and decay. Rows of zephyrs hung, suspended in biomechanical harnesses, antlers hooked to a throbbing central spire. The Los hissed, scales bleeding crimson. They're draining them to power that thing. Jake followed her gaze. The spire speared upward into a storm-charged reactor, crackling with terraforming energy. It's a weapon, he realized. They'll scorch human colonies with it. Priorities, human. The Los severed a zephyr's restraints. Free the herd. Then sabotage the spire. Vera nosed a trembling foal, her wing shielding it. Jake worked fast, but a guttural roar shook the chamber. The Vorith leader descended, a hulking, chitinous titan with 6 glowing eyes. Asterisk thieves, asterisk. It rasped, scythe-like claws snapping. The fight. The Los charged, blade clashing against exoskeleton. Jake hurled Solaris pods, but the Vorith leader swatted them aside. Jake, the spire. The Los shouted, pinned beneath the beast's claw. He sprinted, dodging acid sprays. Vera lunged, antlers sparking as she rammed the Vorith. It reeled, slashing her flank. She crumpled, silver fur matted with blood. No! Jake scrambled to her side. Her breaths came shallow, eyes dimming. The Vorith raised its claw for a killing strike, then froze. Thalos's blade protruded from its third eye ridge. It collapsed, twitching. The choice. The Los yanked her blade free, aiming for the Vorith's throat. Wait! Jake grabbed her arm. It's defenseless. It's evil. Her voice trembled with rage. They gutted my unit. Slaughter hatchlings. They deserve no mercy. And if you kill it now, Jake said quietly, you're just another butcher. She snarled but hesitated. The Vorith leader gurgled, crawling toward a control panel. Look out! Jake tackled her as the leader slammed a claw on the console. Alarms blared. Reactor overload, the Los spat. We have minutes. Escape. Freed Zephyrs stampeded past, Vera limping at the rear. Jake shouldered her weight, adrenaline numbing his burns. They reached the surface as the hive exploded, flames clawing the crimson sky. The Los stared back, her blade still dripping. It survived, but so did we. Jake slumped against Vera, checking her wound. The Solaris paste was already sealing it. She nuzzled him weakly, antlers flickering. The Los knelt, scales muted. You were right. Vengeance would have made me them. Jake offered a tired smile. Told you I'm good company. As dawn broke, the herd took flight, Vera beside them, grounded but alive. Behind, in the smoldering ruins, a shadow stirred. Echoes of the sky, asterisk, asterisk. Caldarian capital, council hall. The council chamber's marble walls echoed with disdain. Elder Kivra, her scales rippling cobalt, flung Jake's holopad across the table. Human trickery, she sneered. The Vorith are myths, concocted to justify your colonization. The Los stepped forward, her voice steel. I saw their hive. They'll strike here. Enough. Kivra's tail lashed. You shame your clan, the Los, siding with this soft skin. Jake clenched his satchel, the Solaris inside faintly glowing. They're powering a weapon. If you won't believe us, at least evacuate the city. Laughter erupted. The elders turned away. Vorith assault, 1,300 hours. The first blast shattered the council spire. Acid rain fell as Vorith dropships swarmed the sky. Civilians fled, screams mingling with the hiss of dissolving stone. The Los hauled Jake behind a pillar. Your plan? Now. He stared at the chaos. Asterisk hallucinogenic spores. Zephyrs. Aerial dispersal. Asterisk the stables. Vera can lead the herd. Skyborn strike. Vera awaited them, antlers blazing. Jake smeared Solaris paste on a cloth masks. These'll shield us from the spores. He tossed the Los a pouch of glowing pods. Crush these when I signal. She hesitated. You trust her to lead? Jake mounted Vera. She trusts me. They soared, the herd following. Below, Vorith cannons tore through the city. Now, Jake yelled. The Los hurled the pods. They erupted, a neon cloud engulfing the Vorith. Soldiers staggered, clawing at hallucinations. Thalas's sacrifice. The Vorith leader emerged, its carapace scorched from the hive. It lunged at Jake, scythe claws raised. The Los intercepted, her blade shattering against its exoskeleton. Asterisk her heirloom. Her honor. Asterisk. Asterisk run. Asterisk, she roared, grappling the beast. Jake veered Vera downward. We don't leave family. Climax. Vera dive-bombed, antlers searing the leader's eyes. It recoiled, and Jake jammed a Solaris pod into its jaw. The explosion flung it into a collapsing tower. Silence fell. Alliance forged. Elder Kivra approached, her scales ash-gray. We misjudged you. Jake dismounted, Vera leaning on him. Judging's easy. Helping's hard. Kivra bowed. Kelder stands with your colonies. For Lila. How'd she? The Los met his gaze, a flicker of guilt in hers. She'd told him. Epilogue, Terra Colony 12. Sunlight drenched the revitalized crops. Jake knelt, planting Kelder's sapling beside Lila's grave. The Los arrived, her new blade simple, unadorned. It grows. Like us, Jake said. Vera soared above, her herd painting the sky with light.